Welcome back guys to a new vlog, and trust me when I say that this is going to be a very special one. I'm about to climb my first 4,000 meters mountain, the Gran Paradiso, the only one that is entirely in Italy. I'm incredibly excited to do this, and if you want to follow me through this adventure, just keep watching and I really hope you're going to enjoy it. There are several paths and ways that you can use to reach the very top of Gran Paradiso, but for me I've chosen the more, let's say, classic one, which is the way that goes through the Vittorio Emanuele hut, which is the place where I'm going to stay tonight. I started the hike, well, you don't see it anymore, at the parking lot down there in the valley at 2,000 meters, and hopefully soon I'm going to reach 2,750 meters or something. So for today the hike is 700 something meters. Then tomorrow morning, very early, I'll have another 1,300 meters to do. That's going to be the tough part. So and I'm going to tell you more about that part tomorrow. Since right now it's very warm during the day, I decided to do this hike, this first part of the hike, around sunset. And one of my big hopes was to see chamois or any sorts of mountain animals. And this park is very famous for, you know, wildlife, but I haven't really been lucky so far. I only heard a couple of marmots. Yeah, this one is very close, but well, not any sightseeing of any wildlife. So finger crossed, I really hope to get lucky. Well, as planned, after a couple of hours hike, and again, very easy, there's the hut, my stopping point for tonight and my starting point for tomorrow. And well, I really hope they're going to give me something for dinner, even if it's a little bit late, because I'm very hungry. Bonjour. I just finished my super nice dinner, and the owners are incredibly nice, and the hut is super comfy. It's really nice. And well, right now I'm just enjoying sunset, which is quite cool. And I have a lot of emotions going on right now, a little bit frightened, a little bit excited, so we'll see how it goes. But now it's time to go to bed. The day started early with breakfast at 3:30 a.m. with a little bit of bread, jam and butter. And well, right after breakfast we prepared our things and well, started the hike. And believe it or not, we were not the only one, definitely. There were plenty of people taking on the same trail. Now, after 1 hour 30, 1 hour 40, we started to see the break of dawn, and it was magical, seeing the full moon in the sky and the first lights of the day on the Alps. it was definitely one of the sweetest memories that I have from the entire adventure. And we also got the chance to stop for a couple of minutes, one of the very few stops, and enjoying those views. And I also got the chance to take a couple of pictures, and probably some of the favorites of the entire adventure. And well, right after a couple of hours of walking on rocks, most of the time losing rocks, we put on the crampons on and started taking on the glacier. And trust me when I say that that was one of the most rewarding experiences, because walking between these huge crevasses and ice formations, as the views on all over the Alps were getting better and better, it was just unbelievable for me. It definitely one of the best memories that I have. And well, the trail was getting also steeper and more difficult to walk on, but well, walking, amongst these kind of views, I wasn't feeling the pain or not even the altitude, to be honest. So after another 3 hours of walking on the glacier and crossing also a very Himalayan style ladder, we reached the top finally, and I was the happiest man on earth. I reached the top of the Gran Paradiso at 4,061 meters, and the views were fantastic. I took a couple of quick shots. I spent probably 1 minute at the top, as there were other people waiting in line to come up, so we needed to be fast. So the only few shots that I could take were literally from the top, and I really couldn't play a lot with perspectives, but the views were just absurdly nice. And well, the first part of the way back down, it was quite, let's say, exposed, as there was like 1,000 meters drop below us, and probably one of the most, let's say, scary parts, I would say, but also definitely the most beautiful, with the best panorama that you could possibly get from the entire hike. And well, the descent part, I thought that it was way easier, but it really wasn't. Well, the first part on the glacier, it was actually very easy, as we just walked our way back down, so the trail was quite straightforward and very, let's say, easy. But the part on the rocks, and that was like a big part of the way back down, which wasn't the same way we came up, so there were two different ways. So it was like a 900 meters elevation gain between where the glacier stops and where you start walking on rocks. And well, that wasn't that easy, to be honest. It was quite tricky because the rocks were big, so you'll have to jump between the rocks, and there were a lot of places where you had to sit down and move around. It was quite tricky overall, to be honest. That was the part that took us the longest time. But well, after another 4 hours, so a total of 9 hours and a little bit more than 9 hours, we finally reached the hut again. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. And well, that was, let's say, the biggest part of the adventure. Officially back to the car, incredibly tired. I even spent some extra time up there chasing ibex, and well, succeeding at least. I've seen a few. I recorded one, but I've seen a few. They are incredible animals, and I'm happy that I finally managed to see some. And well, I'm still processing in my head the fact that I just climbed a 4,000 meters mountain. It was an incredible experience, and there's not a word that can explain the emotions that I felt, both the good ones and the bad ones, to be honest. But it was overall awesome. And I'm sorry that I couldn't vlog that much on the way up and on the way down on the second day, but the weather was getting worse during the afternoon, so we really needed to be back at the hut. We were on a tight schedule, let's say, so I couldn't stop and do vlogs and videos. So I really hope that you're going to appreciate the overall result. Anyway, if you have any question, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.